Ballon d'Or 2023. Who are the main challengers to Bookies' favorite Lionel Messi? It seems a pretty sure bet that Lionel Messi is going to lift his 8th Ballon d'Or crown next week. The Argentine leads his GOAT rival Cristiano Ronaldo 7-5 in the battle between the trophy's all-time leading winners. No other player has won the crown more than 3 times. But Ronaldo is absent from this year's 30-man shortlist for the award for the first time in almost 2 decades, leaving Messi heavily odds-on to add to his already bursting at the seams silverware cabinet at Monday's glittering Paris ceremony. This is football, though, and, as the old saying goes, anything can happen. So, if Messi is to be usurped by a shock winner, who could it be? Erling Haaland, Manchester City's goal machine, is the man the bookies think has the best chance of pipping World Cup winner Messi to global football's top individual prize, and it's not too tough to see why. The Norwegian absolutely ripped it up after arriving at the Etihad last summer. Any concerns about how long it would take Haaland to adjust to the perceived step up from the Bundesliga to the Premier League were quickly brushed aside as he hit 25 goals in 19 games in the first half of the season. Haaland ended up topping the scoring charts with 36, and also led the way in the Champions League with 12, including 5 in one game against RB Leipzig, as his goals fired City to finally fulfilling their ambition of being crowned Kings of Europe. With 52 goals in total and a treble to boot, in most years he'd be a shoo-in for the Ballon d'Or, but while Messi was completing his legacy by winning the World Cup in Qatar, Haaland was sat at home after Norway failed to even qualify. Kylian Mbappe, the Golden Boot winner in a World Cup year, the Ballon d'Or is decided on performances from August to July, simply has to be in the conversation for the glamorous gong of the globe's top star. Kylian Mbappe emulated Sir Geoff Hurst by becoming only the 2nd player in history to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final, with that treble leading him to the top scorer honors for the tournament as a whole on 8 goals. He also bagged braces against Denmark and Poland earlier in the tournament, but his hat-trick in the final in Lusail was not enough to help France retain their title as world champions as they lost out to Messi's Argentina on penalties. Mbappe continued to dominate domestically too, as Paris Saint-Germain swept to yet another Ligue 1 title, becoming the club's all-time leading scorer at the tender age of 24 and winning both the league's top marksman and best player awards. However, you don't have to look far to work out who set up 11 of his 29 league goals for PSG. Yep, that man Messi. Vinicius Jr, the Brazil maestro, increased his goal output for Real Madrid from 22 to 23 in all competitions during the past season. But it is arguably his influence off the pitch, more than on it, that has won him an ever-increasing number of admirers. The 23-year-old has been vociferous in his protests and condemnation of racism at La Liga stadia, using his platform to highlight an issue that has bubbled under the surface without being properly addressed for far too long. Why does this matter when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, you ask? Well, while 2 of the criteria for nomination involve individual and team performance, the third relates to the example set by a player and is more intangible. But he's hardly lagging in those first 2 categories either. Only 3 La Liga players bettered Vini's 19-goal contributions last season, and he also hit 7 goals and 5 assists in 12 Champions League matches as Real came up just short in their quest to retain their crown as kings of the continent. Robert Lewandowski, one of the players to outperform Vinicius in the final third in La Liga, was Robert Lewandowski, who enjoyed a stunning first season with Barcelona, proving even in the twilight years of his career that he can cut it elsewhere than the Bundesliga. The 35-year-old hit 33 goals in his maiden campaign with Barca, including 23 in the league as he finished as the top scorer in Spain's top flight. Lewandowski also chipped in with 7 assists as Barcelona won La Liga for the first time in 4 years. He also scored his first World Cup goals to help Poland to the last 16 in Qatar, where they fell to the French. Impressive enough on its own, but there's also the chance the veteran forward gets the sympathy vote from those with long memories. Lewandowski seemed nailed on to win the 2020 prize after perhaps the best season of his career, in which he helped Bayern to Champions League glory, but organizers canceled the award due to the coronavirus pandemic. Victor Osimhen. In terms of individual impact on a season since August 2022, the period used to judge contenders by, few players had the sort of effect that Victor Osimhen had on Napoli as they won a first Serie A championship in 3 decades. The Nigeria striker had hit double figures with 10 and 14 in his first 2 campaigns in Naples, but beat those tallies combined with 26 last term, plus another 5 in the Champions League as the Italian side reached the quarter-finals. Those efforts made him a regular in every transfer gossip column going during the summer, and he also spearheaded Nigeria's qualification for the Africa Cup of Nations. Osimhen scored 10 goals as the Super Eagles cruised through their group. That was 5 more goals than any other player.